Call the Village of Trustees Board meeting to get for Monday, March 18th, 2019. Audience members are requested to sign in on the sheet provided at the registration table. Citizens wishing to be heard on topics not listed on the agenda may speak under item C. Citizens may be given an opportunity to speak during discussion of items listed on the agenda and allowed 3 minutes for comments. Disruptive discussion or profanity will not be allowed. Roll call of officers.
King.
Here.
Price is excused. Streeter.
Here.
Stutz.
Here.
Will.
Here.
Stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizen participation. Citizens are to address the board only. Statements are limited to 3 minutes. The board may not respond to items not listed on the agenda. However, you may ask for an item to be placed on future agendas. Is there any citizens wishing to be heard? Seeing none, moving down to announcements, communications. Anybody have any announcements or communications? President's business and staff reports. Lakeside Municipal Court.
Thank you. The judge had a two-day, the Wisconsin Municipal Judges Association seminar on March 7th and 8th. That was in Elkhart Lake. And I was on vacation last couple days of February and then the first week of March. And then I was back for a day and a half and then off to Milwaukee for the judicial education classes. It was a two-day supervisory class. And then on Friday, we had our, the Wisconsin Municipal Court Clerk Association Executive Spring Committee meeting. And coming up April 9th is going to be the Court Executive Review Committee meeting. And yesterday was my 16-year anniversary.
Oh,
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
Is, so City of Ripon, is that full swing right now with them?
Yes.
In our court, how's that going so far?
Good,
Good.
very good, yep.
Well, thank you. Administrator Nick?
Thank you. Attended Plan Commission meeting last week. We're going to talk about that topic later, about a special use permit. Also spent a lot of time last week, which we'll be discussing also later tonight, a developer's agreement for a possible sale of land in the business park. I spent a lot of time on that last week. Also, just a reminder, absentee voting has started in the village office. There has been a few voters coming in. That is open until next Friday. We will be open till 5 p.m. next Friday. And that'll be the last opportunity to absentee vote. Also, just as a follow-up from the audit, we did have our exit interview, would have been 2 Fridays ago, I think after I put out my weekly report, for the financial audit. And financial audit went very, very well for the general fund. It's probably the least amount of entries we've ever had, which just means that everything was pretty clean in our accounting system. Not to say that it won't, add a few next year, but really not a lot of surprises in our audit. You never really know where you stand until you see the audit numbers. So they're going to be presenting that to the village board here in either May or very early June. So that's all I had.
Thanks, Nick. Police Department, Darren?
Thank you. I had mentioned in my weekly report, actually a week ago, but we haven't met now for a couple of weeks. I was able to go up to Friendship Learning Center on March 8th and read to the first grade classes. There's 5 classrooms. Got to read some Dr. Seuss books to them and then answer some questions from the kids. Had a great time. One of the teachers took some pictures, which are on our Facebook page. And today I got a great big thank you letter from one of the other classrooms that all the kids signed. So I hope that's something that they continue to do and that we can stay involved in, because it was really a rewarding experience. We released our quarterly newsletter. Went out week before last. It's available online and at all the typical locations throughout the village, including here, the community center, the library. So I would encourage people to check that out. There's some great information in there. One of the best things that's in there, and also in my weekly report, is that winter parking is now done for the season. So have at it, park where you want, unless the signs say not to. And as far as last week, the flooding issues, we fared very well out here. We did have one area on Winnebago Street where the water runoff came out onto the road, but DPW went out there, set up some barricades just along the side of the road, just so that nobody kind of drove into the sewer where the water was going down, but we didn't have to shut down any traffic. And then again, on Prospect Avenue by the pond, there was a little bit of runover, but again, just one lane was kind of blocked off and traffic was able to continue in both directions. So we did assist the city of Fond du Lac with shutting down traffic on Prospect at Scott Street for a while because they were so overwhelmed with their issues. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Fire EMS.
Thank you. Kind of like Darren, or Chief Bosch was saying, we went to the city and assisted them with the flooding issue that they had. I sent you guys an email on that. We sent an engine over there to begin with, and then later on in the day, we sent an ambulance over there to assist with EMS runs. I've been working on updating our Mavis cards to get them a little bit better than how we had them. The last time they were updated was 2 years ago, so it's time to renew them and get them up to par. So that's been going pretty well, and they should be going into effect here in the next couple of days. And finally, we will be having our first ride-along student next week, so that kind of went through, and we have 3 students right now that'll be starting out, so that's all I got for you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'd like to thank you guys for helping out the city of Fond du Lac, and I've seen a lot of local fire departments helping the city out. It's just nice to provide their some support every so often, so it was good to see.
Thank you.
Public Works, Darren.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's been busy. Finally finished clearing all the catch basins away before we got the warm weather. Once we started getting the warm weather, we had multiple catch basins and culverts that were frozen up, so we spent time thawing those out so they would take water. And then Thursday, when we did get the heavy runoff and the rain, we spent most of that day busting up ice chunks from Mosier Creek and keeping the trash rack flowing clear, which helped us with any flooding out here. We were also monitoring our sanitary system, checking manholes throughout the village, just to make sure we weren't experiencing any sewer backups related to that water issues. Now we're out patching potholes, which have grown and are multiplying. And then also we're replacing 2 of the pool filters in the basement of the pool. The filters are, I'm not sure how old they are. I believe they were here when I started here. And we're going to be replacing all 6 filters there. We replaced 2 last year. We're going to do 2 this year, and we'll also do 2 of them in 2020. That's my report.
Thanks, Darren.
I had one. I just want to add one thing about the flooding in general, just because I've been involved in the process for a long time, and I know everybody here has been involved in the village for a long time, and if you recall back in the 1990s, and I think 1996, 97 is really when the village board at that time decided to start spending a lot of money in infrastructure here, and it's taken a while, but finally we're starting to see the difference it's been making with our stormwater ponds, our deeper storm sewer system. We have a large storm sewer pump at the south end of the village. Our sanitary system's getting a little tighter. It's still not where it needs to be, but that's due to all of the money and effort that was spent over the last 20, 25 years in this village in getting that infrastructure where it needs to be. I bring that up because I also want to, we have to be aware of, we can't stop at this point. There's still things that need to get fixed, and we don't want it to get back to where it was, because that's how it got there in the first place. Was there was a long period of time here in the village where things weren't taken care of, and I think we're starting to finally see that this system that we built is working well. So I just wanted to add that and thank all of the department staff that helped out with all of those issues.
Did you get any calls on flood basement?
We have 0 calls at this point of property damage,
Wow.
which is incredible. If in 1995 there would have been hundreds, and even in the early 2000s there would have been hundreds. So we had 0.
Thing that we have property available out here for sale. So maybe we'll get some.
Yeah.
Some of those residents out here
Nice plug.
All right, moving down to the consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the following village board meeting from March 4th, 2019. Approve invoices and authorize checks to be drawn on the respective funds as indicated. General fund, $60,645.04. Library fund, $893.62. EMS fund, $8,413.03. Water department, $18,994.71. Wastewater department, $6,706.50. Community development, $16.70. Stormwater fund, $2,659.49, for a grand total of $98,329.09. And we also have, need to approve an operator's license for Jennifer Laidler for Charlie's. What is the board's pleasure?
Make the motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Will, second by Studs to approve the consent agenda as read. Are there any questions?
I guess I'll start with, I believe this is between Jake and Darren. Page 9, GTL, $6,869. Two repairs.
The second one is not
That's Public Works. I think.
for us, but the
Yep.
first one is 502 fuel injectors. So they had to get replaced. Two of them, I believe.
Right here, page 9.
9 on the bottom.
Valve cover
PDF.
gasket, brake clean.
Yeah,
Or
it's
three.
kind of, the title's a lot longer than that.
They listed shop supplies there.
We just had that in for some work not too long ago. Did we? I mean, some
Yeah, in
major work.
October, they had work done on it, so.
So I mean, how much did we budget for repairs? Are we over already?
Yep.
Yeah. That's 7 months, 8 months ago yet, huh? Okay.
Yeah, 8.5.
Well, and yours was the garbage truck?
No, one of the
The
patrol
big
truck, one of the patrol trucks, we had EGR system failure on one of the trucks.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mike? All righty, there's no more questions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Resolutions. Discussion and possible action on Resolution 4-2019, a resolution authorizing a special use permit at 480 Pioneer Road.
I can speak to that, summarize that. Greg Barber is the owner, and he's in the audience here tonight. At 480 Pioneer Road, has requested special use for allowing automobile sales at that location. He currently runs his graphics business out of there also. That does require a special use based on the zoning. Plan Commission did hear this on Tuesday of last week and recommended to the village board to approve. He had asked for 12 vehicles, so we put no parking or storage in the right-of-way in the front yard lawn areas, and then a maximum of up to 12 vehicles offered for sale, and that there's room for mostly 10 in the front and then 2 maybe along the side of the building, but just making a requirement that those are all on paved surfaces and not in the lawn areas or on the right-of-way. And that was the only conditions that the Plan Commission wanted on that.
Any questions?
Originally it was 10, we moved it to 12, right?
Correct. So there was no number. Peter Fetters, our building and zoning, had put 10 in there as his recommendation, and after discussion at the meeting, they wanted 12, and we felt that there was adequate room for the 12, so we changed it to 12 during the meeting. Correct.
Are there any questions regarding this resolution? All right, can I get a motion to approve this resolution, please?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution R-04, 2019.
I'll second that. Got a motion by Will, second by Streeter to approve resolution 4-2019 for the special use permit at 480 Pioneer Road. Is there any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Ordinances.
That's it.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ordinances, discussion and possible action on ordinance 2019-4 and ordinance amending the Village of North Fond du Lac ordinance 9.14 and 9.15, safety from fire and smoke detectors, second reading. Jake, wanna give us a little recap?
Yeah, the first one didn't change at all from the last reading, 9.14 and 9.15. So if there's any questions, I can take them.
questions on this ordinance? I know we talked about it a couple times and got it refined, so can I get a motion on ordinance 2019-4, please?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-4. Ordinance, I'm sorry.
Can I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
All right, got a motion by King, second by Stutz to approve ordinance 2019-4 for the safety from fire and smoke detectors. Can I get a roll call, please?
King,
Yes.
Streeter.
Yes.
Stutz.
Yes.
Will.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 2, discussion and possible action on ordinance 2019-5, an ordinance creating Village of North Fond du Lac, Chapter 17, Fires and Fire Prevention, and amending 14.01, first reading.
So, this is our third first reading, as you recall.
Yeah.
After last time we thought we had it ironed out, we kind of went back and actually found a couple of things. First one being on page 30, overall page 30 on the bottom. Provision of each 2.5-inch nominal valve water outlet design didn't make sense where it was. That was just taken out. And then additionally, there was for burning recreational fires. There was some discussion between us and the police department, and it really didn't make a lot of sense to have these specific times in here about when somebody could have a recreational fire outside, and nor was it going to be easy to enforce. So the controls are in there, what they can and can't do with recreational fires. We took out the times on page 33. Those were the only additional changes, so this is now, I hope, the final first reading.
Yeah. All right, are there any questions on ordinance 2019-5?
I just got one for,
Go ahead, Mike.
for Jake. A lot of this is new, right, correct? This is brand new, kind of? This is kind of a new ordinance for us, right?
Yep.
Yep.
How do you plan on getting this information out to the property owners, the ones that have sprinkler systems? I mean, we're gonna give them some kind of heads up that this ordinance is out here now, so that we don't show up on their door and say you're not following ordinance. How are you gonna get this message out to them?
So every 6 months, we should be inspecting any inspectable building in the village, and when we go there, we will get these to them.
Go
So-
through with them and.
Yeah, so they
and
understand.
Explain their
Yeah.
requirements and stuff?
A lot of these are all state statutes, so it's essentially implementing them, and some of them are refined a little stricter, but obviously we can't be more lackadaisical than the state statute, so
I just wanna be fair to our
a lot of
businesses.
them are already implemented, NFPA standards are, so,
At the end of the day, it says the village board's putting this in effect, and I'd like them
Yeah.
to get a good heads up
Yeah.
what the expectations are.
yeah.
All right.
Any other questions for Jake? All right, so this is first reading, so no action required. Moving down to 3, discussion and possible action on ordinance 2019-6. An ordinance creating Village of North Fond du Lac, Chapter 8, Blank 22, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning code, first reading.
Lately, Peter just has loved doing ordinances, so he keeps finding things that need correction. So, in his backup here, he says, in reviewing municipal ordinances, the details of heating and air conditioning permits is not clearly defined, so he's trying to define that in our section 8 of our municipal code. Heating and ventilation and air conditioning code, he's creating section 8.22. This whole section is new in the code. Very similar to the city of Fond du Lac, it's just spelling out what is really should be in there anyways from state code anyways, so this would be the first reading of that.
Are there any questions on this ordinance? Seeing none, first reading, no action required. Moving down to I, communications. Any communications? Any new business? Need a motion to go into closed session, please.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session. Discussion, number 1, discussion of the personal issue of the Wisconsin State Statutes 1985, sub 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. A double F contract. Number 2, discussion under Wisconsin State Statutes 1985, sub 1E, deliberating or negotiating
the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reason require a closed session. A, development incentives, the Northgate Business Park Developers Agreement.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Got a motion by King, second by Stutz to go into closed session. Can I get a roll call, please?
King,
Yes.
Streeter,
Yes.
Stutz.
Yes.
Will.
Yes.
Thank you. We are in closed session.